Hello again, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about some reasons why you should consider moving out of your parents' house. And before I get into that whole topic, I want you to ask yourself if you've ever felt like you had to live up to your parents' expectations, or you were too overwhelmed by trying to consider their opinions with every decision that you make. I know that I've struggled with that before, and that is one of the reasons why I decided to move out of my parents' house as soon as I was able to afford it. And today I just want to talk about 3 points. First point will be the benefits of moving out. Point number two will be ways to make it affordable. And point number three, what if something goes wrong? And some of the benefits are obviously that you don't live with them, so you're able to just kind of do whatever you want, but also remembering to still be responsible. But the real benefit is it gives you strength emotionally. You're forced to deal with things by yourself, which helps you in the long run to be able to understand your feelings, work with your feelings. It increases your self-knowledge. You become aware of what you're good at. You are forced to deal with things that you're scared of, because moving out can be really scary. But you pushing yourself to do something that you're not usually comfortable with just helps you so much, not just with moving out but in different areas of your life. It gives you life skills. You have to talk to your landlord. You have to figure out ways to afford your rent, because there are going to be moments when maybe you won't have enough money, but you have to figure out ways to make it possible. And one of the things that a mental health counselor said, her name is Christine Hammond, was that it also helps you to restart expectations. We are so used to meeting up our parents' expectations, but what about our personal expectations? We're able to revalue our life and see what we really want to do. We're able to rethink about our choices and become more aware of them, because a lot of times if we make mistakes as living with our parents, they become responsible for it because we're still under their roof. But when you're living alone, you're responsible for your own choices. It pushes you to be a hard worker because there are things that you have to pay for personally. You can't rely on your parents anymore. And as Robert Janis said, who is a freelance writer, it just helps you to be independent overall. Like I said, you don't rely on someone else anymore. It's just you. And obviously it can be expensive because we're used to our parents paying for everything since we're born. But one of the most common ways to make moving out affordable is just moving out with a roommate. When I first moved out, I moved out with my sister and one of my close friends from church. So we were able to divide everything by three: our grocery, all the bills, and rent, obviously. And that just made it so much easier because it wasn't all on me. That is definitely a way that you can make it affordable. Just keep in mind that living with friends is not the same thing as just hanging out with them, because you get to know things that you might not be comfortable with, or things that you might not agree on. Maybe they're not as clean as you are, or maybe they forget to pay you on time. Those are all little things that you have to be mindful of. So always make sure that you ask someone that you know you can count on. You become independent, so you're also gonna rely on that person's money. Otherwise, you have to put money out of your pocket. Work more. If you don't have a job already, make sure you get one, because that is obviously really important. And if you already have one, try to get more hours or try to find a side job. If you own a car, maybe do Uber Eats or Uber Ride, and just little small jobs where you can earn extra money. Try to save as much as you can. I know that a lot of times I want to spend all the money that we have just because we have money, but moving out forces you to be more mindful of where you put your money, and make sure you do your research. It's so important to just figure out the cheapest option for you, not just go with what looks nice and what you want, because that's not how life is. You're not always gonna get what's nice. You have to look for things that you can afford, and obviously that are still nice and that you like it. And just start being financially responsible. That is such a big thing that moving out by yourself is gonna help you with. If you don't have enough money and it becomes too overwhelming, like you try it out for a year, a few months, and it becomes too overwhelming, if it doesn't work out, you can always move back with your parents. It can be really intimidating to do that, and it can make you feel like you're failing as an adult, but honestly, that's why it's so important to move out of your parents' house on good terms. Don't just do it out of nowhere without even letting them know, because obviously they'll still accept you back, but it just doesn't leave a good name. You don't leave in good terms, and it would just be awkward at the end of the day. And actually, NBC just posted an article talking about how 39% of younger millennials actually moved back during the pandemic because, one, it was either because they couldn't afford it anymore, or two, just because they wanted to take care of their parents and be closer to them. So there are different situations where you might have to move back, but why not try it out? Like I said, moving out helps you in so many ways psychologically. It helps you to have a fresh start. It helps you to know who you really are, because when you're with your parents, you depend on them. A lot of choices that you make are because you know that that's what your parents want you to do. But what about what you want to do? It forces you to think about what you want, not what they want. And yes, it can be stressful because times where you won't have enough money. That's happened to me. Where maybe I had enough money for rent and bills, but I didn't have enough money for food because I was spending it too much on other things. But that's what teaches you to become more responsible. That's what teaches you to just manage your money better. And it's such a great thing that you need to learn as soon as possible, and it just gives you a head start to move out of your parents' house, because eventually you're going to have to move out. So why not try it? Just figure out that you find the best affordable ways to do it, and like I said, if it doesn't work out, you always will have another option, and your parents will always love you, even if you're far away or if you're close. So it's so important to remember that they'll still be there for you, but there are moments that you need to move out of that comfort zone and be able to learn who you really are and to work on yourself on your own. So yeah, I really hope that you consider moving out of your parents' house, because it will help you in so many ways. And thank you for watching my speech and for taking the time to listen to me.